The late afternoon sun was casting long shadows across the parking lot of a quiet strip mall in Arizona. A gentle breeze rustled the flags above a local diner, where a few families sat outside, enjoying their meals. Near the entrance, a young pregnant woman in a wheelchair struggled to maneuver over the curb. Her name was Emily, 7 months pregnant, and paralyzed from the waist down after a car accident 6 months earlier. She'd come alone to pick up a prescription and grab some dinner when a loud rumble echoed through the air. For motorcycles roared into the lot, chrome beasts with skull decals and rusted plates. The riders wore black leather cuts reading Vultures MC, and their leader, a wiry man with a crooked nose and cruel eyes, sneered as he saw Emily. "Get out of the way, roadkill," he growled, walking toward her. Emily tried to wheel back, but one of the bikers shoved her chair, spinning it around. She gripped the armrests tightly, heart racing. And then, he kicked her. Hard. The biker's boot struck the side of her wheelchair, knocking it halfway over. Emily cried out, one hand cradling her stomach as the chair wobbled dangerously. Gasps rang out from onlookers. A few raised their phones, but no one stepped in. Except one man. From the far end of the parking lot, a figure had been watching. Quiet. Calm. Massive. Wearing a baseball cap low over his eyes, he stood up from a shaded bench near the diner and began walking toward the scene. It wasn't until he stepped into the sun that people realized who he was. John Cina. He moved like a tank, controlled, deliberate, unstoppable. The biker who kicked Emily barely had time to react. Cina grabbed his leather vest, yanked him back, and drove a sledgehammer fist into his gut. The biker dropped like a rag doll, gasping for air. 2 of his goons charged. Wrong move. Cina stepped aside, hooked one biker's arm mid-swing, and flipped him over his shoulder straight into a parked motorcycle. The second one tried to tackle him from behind, but Cina ducked and elbowed him so hard his helmet flew off and clattered across the pavement. The leader, still on his feet, pulled a knife. "You think you're a hero?" he spat. "No," Cina growled. "But I'm her protector today." The biker lunged. Cina caught his wrist mid-stab, twisted until bones cracked, and dropped him to the ground with a devastating takedown. The knife skittered away. The parking lot had gone silent. Emily, now being helped up by a kind couple, looked at Cina with wide, tearful eyes. "Thank you," she whispered. Cina walked over, gently righted her wheelchair, and crouched down beside her. "You okay?" he asked softly. She nodded. Police sirens wailed in the distance. Someone must have finally called. Cina stood up, turned to the bystanders who had done nothing, and shook his head. "Don't just watch. Stand up when someone needs help." Then he disappeared into the crowd before the cops arrived, as if he were never there. But everyone who saw it would never forget what happened that day, especially not the Vultures MC. They never showed their faces in that town again. 2 days later, a busted-up warehouse outside Tucson. The Vultures Motorcycle Club was licking its wounds, literally. Bruised ribs, black eyes, and shattered pride. Gunner, the Vultures' leader, the one who pulled the knife, sat with his arm in a sling, growling through broken teeth. "That wasn't just some meathead who got lucky," he muttered, staring at the dusty TV in the corner of the room. On the screen, John Cina was on a late-night talk show. "Holy hell," muttered Tank, the largest of the Vultures. "That was John freaking Cina?" "He broke Ricky's arm like it was a pretzel," growled Slade, rubbing his jaw. "He made us look weak in front of the whole damn town." "Exactly," Gunner spat. "So now we get our revenge. Not just for us, for the name." He slammed a switchblade into the table. "We find that girl. We make her send a message to her hero. We drag him out." Meanwhile, across town, Emily was in her apartment, still shaken but healing. A nurse checked her vitals while a police officer finished taking her statement. "You're lucky," the officer said. "That guy, you know who he was?" Emily nodded. "John Cina. But I didn't ask for his help. He just showed up." The cop laughed softly. "He's like that. But listen, Emily, those guys he stopped? They're part of a real outlaw MC. We're worried they might come back." Emily's hand instinctively went to her belly. The officer handed her a card. "If anything seems off, call us. And maybe, stay with someone for a while." That night, Emily double-checked her locks. She didn't sleep. She didn't know that a black van was parked 3 blocks away. Watching, back at the warehouse, the Vultures were gearing up. Loaded chains, bats, knives. No more games. Slade grinned as he loaded a flare gun. "Let's see if Cina shows up again. We'll bury him this time. Gunnar nodded, holding a photo of Emily in his gloved hand. We hit tomorrow night. We take her. But what the vultures didn't know, Cina hadn't disappeared. He'd quietly reached out to a few old friends. Former SEALs, Rangers, a former CIA handler who owed him a favor. He stood with them now in a quiet garage-turned-command center, examining surveillance photos, maps of the area, and the vultures' known hideouts. She's not alone, Cina said, steel in his voice. They want to come back? Let them. Beside him, a grizzled veteran named Ortiz cracked his knuckles. They won't know what hit him. 11:43 p.m., Emily's apartment. The apartment was dark. Too dark. The hallway lights had been smashed out, and the elevator was stuck between floors. The silence was thick. Unnatural. Like the world was holding its breath. Outside, the vultures' MC crept through the parking lot in 2 beat-up trucks and a stolen minivan. Gunnar led the charge, knife glinting under the moonlight. Behind him were Slade, Tank, and 5 others. 9 total. Leather vests, chains, guns. A plan. Quiet, Gunnar hissed. In, out, no noise. We grab her, leave a message, and if that WWE clown shows up again, we end him. They didn't know she was gone. Emily had left hours ago, under orders. Because John Cina had turned her apartment into bait. Inside, in the shadows, Cina crouched behind the kitchen counter in Emily's empty apartment, earpiece crackling softly. All teams in position, whispered a voice. Ortiz, watching from a rooftop across the street, got eyes on 2 entering from the back stairwell. Cina's voice was low, controlled. Wait for them to get comfortable. Then shut the door. Outside, 2 more figures moved with silent precision. Mac and Delgado, both ex-military, armed with non-lethal takedown gear. Rubber bullets, smoke grenades, drones buzzing like mosquitoes overhead. The vultures didn't stand a chance. 12:01 a.m. Contact. The first 2 vultures kicked in the back door. Boom. A flashbang detonated in their faces. White light, ringing ears. Then fists, brutal, precise. Mac and Delgado hit fast. Pressure points, bone snaps, zip ties. Front entrance, kicked open. Gunnar and Slade rushed in, thinking they'd catch a scared girl. What they got was John Cina coming out of the shadows like a freight train. Slade swung a bat. Cina caught it mid-swing and ripped it out of his hands, driving a knee into his chest so hard he crumpled. Gunnar stabbed. Cina dodged, twisted his arm, and headbutted him into unconsciousness. Ortiz's voice crackled. 2 runners heading to the van. Want me to drop him? Cina, gently. Ortiz chuckled. Thwop thwop. Tranquilizer darts. The bikers fell like logs. 12:17 a.m., all clear. 9 bikers. 9 takedowns. 0 casualties. Local police, waiting 2 blocks away, moved in. Cina and his team melted into the shadows, leaving no names, no traces, just a statement. You don't mess with the innocent. And you never mess with John Cina's people. Later, at a safe house, Emily sat by a warm fire, sipping tea. Cina walked in, face calm. It's over, he said. Her eyes welled up. I don't know how to thank you. Cina just smiled. Just live free. That's thanks enough. She looked at him, serious. Why did you help me? You don't even know me. Cina sat beside her. Because too many people stand by and do nothing. I made a promise. If I can help, I will. That's how the world changes. Epilogue. The Vultures' MC was dismantled within the month. Their leadership imprisoned on multiple charges. Emily gave birth to a healthy baby girl. She named her Hope. As for Cina, he never stayed in one place too long. But the story spread that when the world goes dark, when good people are hurt, sometimes the right person shows up, and you never see him coming.